Hey, get in here. Close the door. I don't want you to get bit by the mosquitoes. So, first of all, thank you so much for choosing my house to rob today. There's so many options. It's a privilege for you to be here. I've got a selection of drinks for you to choose from. Great choice, Fancy Perrier. I like it. Okay, so the kids are upstairs sleeping right now, and if they wake up, it's really going to make this whole experience very unenjoyable for you. So to streamline the process, I've got a few things laid out. I've got a 50-inch 4K for you. I've got a MacBook Air, and I even have a pair of earrings from Peoples gifted to my daughter for her baptism. And really, who needs it more, you or her, am I right? Now, hold on. You look a little familiar. You're the one who took my car last year. I knew I recognized you. I love repeat offenders. So I didn't want to take away the full joy of you robbing my house. So these are just a few items. If you head upstairs to the master bedroom, my wife's jewelry is laid out for you. Take whatever you want. Head downstairs. You'll find my safe wide open for you. Take whatever you want. Now, I'm going to be in the kitchen making myself a sandwich. If you have any questions, feel free to come and join me. What's mine is already yours.
Robbing a house in Canada. We got to talk about old Canada, because what is going on in Canada is absolutely, positively wild. And the Canadian citizens, pretty angry about it. Check out this next clip. Let's dive in.
Country on the planet, and so are most of the Canadians that voted for this. I'm not even kidding. You guys are so dumb that you don't even realize the police chief is trying to tell you right now to lose all ability for your survival skills. That's the PSYOPs. So if you don't know what's going on, we had a guy break into a home in Welland, Ontario, and a 5-year-old child. He essayed a 5-year-old child while the parents were sleeping. And you want to know what's happened to him? Nothing. He's out on bail. Why? Because Canada loves rapists and criminals just like their entire government. And the people that voted for this are so stupid. You actually deserve this. I hope your homes get doxxed so that these foreign criminals can come in, bend you over just like the government did in 2020 when you complied for this, you little lab rats. And then you call the government on your neighbors and your friends and everything because you're so stupid. If you don't know what's going on, there's been a bunch of gun crime, illegal gun crime, because you took away gun ownership, and by illegals who are now going into homes in Ontario and literally taking whatever they want. And you want to know what the police chief said? He said comply. He said Canadians should comply, and if you don't, we failed as a community. Just listen to this piece of fucking shit and what he says.
But as it stands, we know the best defense for most people is to comply, as you've just heard a number of
just comply, you guys.
Recommendations will allow for those that are victimizing members in the community to leave and not harm anyone.
Why didn't we think of that?
It sometimes can fall on deaf ears when members feel like they have to take matters into their own hands. And the only thing I'd say is, if we are going to rely on our community members to take matters into their own hands to solve this problem, we have all failed our community.
Yeah, you dummy Canadian pieces of comply. You're so racist. If you fight back, you're racist. Ew. Dear women in Toronto who have been getting comply, you dumb comply. This is what you voted for. You love this. Equal rights for everybody, right, you guys? If somebody comes into your home, comply like you did in 2020. If they try and hurt children, comply. You know, get the camera out. Have a little fun with it. You're Canadian. You don't deserve to live. You don't deserve to actually fight back. You're just a piece of shit that the government uses as punching bags and tax slaves so that they can keep funding the tax laundering money in the Ukraine. Comply, you stupid. That's what the government is telling you. That is the PSYOPs. And I swear, all of the 70% that did this are gonna listen to this exact same thing because you're dumb. And
yeah, that's one Canadian citizen that is rightfully angry. Rightfully angry. Especially when you have Canadian citizens doing stuff like this.
Death to Canada! Death to the United States! And death to Israel! We
what's going on in Canada. That is our neighbor. They screamed death to Canada. But not only there, they didn't stop with that. They said death to America too, as they were ripping the Canadian flag apart. Pretty wild stuff, man. Pretty wild stuff. And I know some of you are probably like, Rich, why do you care? It's Canada. It's not America. There's a couple of things. One, because Canada is our neighbor, obviously, to the north, whether you like it or not. We share a massive border with Canada. But two, because we weren't very far off from that happening here in America. Make no mistake about it. If Kamala had won, and I know it's going to sound like fear-mongering, and that's not my intention. But I truthfully believe, and if you guys want me to make a video on it to back it up, I can do that too. I truthfully believe that had Kamala won, we might have maybe had a 20% chance of pulling America back. Because we saw what they were willing to do in order to stay in power. We saw how much they were willing to lie about a president who was clearly disabled, clearly down the toilet, and they continued to lie to our faces. They told you that people like myself and others were making cheap fakes of Joe Biden stumbling, wandering off like a lost puppy, tripping and falling over sandbags, being guided off the stage by Barack Obama, looking lost. Couldn't even read a teleprompter. They said people like myself were making cheap fakes. They got on national television and said that. And you don't think we were that close to that? You don't think this is coordinated? Check out this video, because it's not just happening in Canada. It's happening in other places too. All at the same time.
This is Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia. 3 nations spread across 3 different continents. But despite the distance, one alarming truth connects them all. They are collapsing in exactly the same way. And now, the symptoms are impossible to ignore. Let's begin where the cracks are turning into a full-blown collapse. Canada. In Canada today, the average family can't afford a home in their own country. Home ownership has crashed 31% in a single generation. Compounding this issue, foreign buyers now hold a significant stake in the Canadian property market, owning up to 13% of it, more than at any point in history. But Canada isn't alone. In Britain, the foundation of the middle class has been gutted. Manufacturing jobs gone, down 46% since 1990. And what did families get in return? The highest tax burden since World War II, all while public services fell apart. But this isn't just a British problem. Across the world, Australia is living the same nightmare, only deeper. There, a quiet takeover is underway. Foreign corporations now control 80% of the country's critical resources. And the dream of home ownership? Dead on arrival. Housing prices have soared by 500%. While wages crawled just 80%. Young Australians are being priced out of their future in their own country. And this pattern across continents, across governments, is no accident. This isn't just failure. It's not bad luck. It's called managed decline, and it's happening by design. And if you're watching this thinking it can't happen here, you need to pay attention, because these 3 nations are the test cases for what's already occurring throughout the Western world.
Yeah. You heard that. All collapsing all at once. Coincidence? I don't think so. Not at all. Not at all. And you know, it's interesting because they say in Canada, right? And you just heard the guy say it there. Just comply. Comply. Let the criminals go. Comply with whatever they tell you to do. Just give it up. But if you protest, this is what happens.
We will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on. Who are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges.
That was in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Let the criminals go, but if you protested, we'll go after you. We'll go after you. And doesn't this chart look very familiar? Yeah. Conservative got elected. Conservatives took over 2026. 2006. And look where crime goes, the crime rate. I mean, just absolutely tanks with conservatives in control. And then liberals regained control here in 2015, and it takes off like a freaking rocket ship. I mean, just look at that. Absolutely insane. And this only displays up to 2023. We dodged a major bullet, ladies and gentlemen. We dodged a major bullet by making sure that Uncle Trump was the one that was elected and not Kamala Drunken Harris. Okay. And I know I've shown you guys this video before, but if you think that was just like a one-off clip, the clip that you saw at the beginning with the guy saying comply, here's the video clip that's from last year. Full disclosure, this is from 2024. This isn't from 2025. And I've shown you guys this video clip before in a different video, but I'm going to show it to you again just so you guys get a full picture of what's really going on in Canada and how long it's actually been going on, because this is nothing new. Check out this clip.
There's also updated advice for all vehicle owners, a message echoed by Toronto police speaking at an Etobicoke safety meeting last month. Constable Marco Ricciardi had a new message for vehicle owners who keep their fobs in Faraday pouches.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door, because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
That's why Galinsky says they will be installing the door stops and taking YPR's advice seriously.
Yeah, that's what happens when you disarm a population. Criminals get to run rampant because they know there's nothing that the citizens can do about it. If I have a gun, and I know for a fact that you don't because they're illegal, and you're a law-abiding citizen, I'm not. I'm a criminal. I'm just kicking in your door. What are you going to do? How are you going to fight me? With a bat? Good luck. With a knife? Okay. Try that out. See how well it works for you. I can hit you from 100 feet away. what are you going to do? So listen, my whole purpose of showing you guys this is to ensure that we never go down this path. We have to keep our foot on the pedal. Just because we're in a good position now does not mean we get to relax. Midterms are coming up next year. We got to make sure we're ready. We got to make sure we're prepared. We got to make sure that we show up. I made a YouTube short maybe last week. I think it was last week. And if you don't watch my YouTube shorts, definitely check them out, because I drop a lot of clips in my YouTube shorts that I don't put in regular videos. If you watch my YouTube shorts, you know there's a lot of good stuff in there that you don't see in regular videos. So if you don't watch them, make sure you check them out. And I have a lot of them. I have a whole lot of them. You can spend an entire week just watching YouTube shorts alone. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Watching my YouTube shorts alone, I'm not even kidding. But anyway, I dropped a YouTube short with a guy basically talking about how there was a special election, I believe in like Iowa, I think it was. And Democrats won once again. And it's kind of a recurring theme, right, recently. These little special elections here, there, and everywhere. Democrats are actually pulling off some W's, right? And while it's not the biggest thing in the world, it is a little bit concerning, right? Because I feel like a lot of Republicans, conservatives, are kind of sitting on our hands now, just relaxing. We got Trump, the big one, we got him in. We got him in. Uncle Trump is the president. We got it. But do you think these folks are going to give up? You think they're going to give in? Because I was thinking as I was putting this video together, like, maybe that's why Democrats have not changed course. Because I've asked you guys that question before in past videos, because I was like, man, why haven't they changed course? Why? What is going on with the Democrat Party? Why do they continue to go down this path And maybe it is because they're watching what is going on in these other countries where the liberals have garnered control and are literally destroying the countries, meanwhile padding their pockets, right? We know about the money laundering, okay? Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. Maybe it's because they see that and they still have dreams and aspirations of that happening here because they're watching it happen in some of these other countries. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because they feel like they can still win here given enough time. Maybe. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? I'm going to leave y'all with this last clip here, and we're going to get out of here. Check out this clip of this guy, this immigrant, I believe, in Canada, talking about what will eventually happen to Canada. And let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, all right?
By 2060, Muslims will be the biggest religious group the world over. What are you going to do then? Actually, to oppose Sharia is even then. We have families, we are making babies. You're not. Our population is going down the slump. One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada. Right in your face.
You say that you want Sharia law to displace Canadian law. That doesn't sound very respectful.
In majority, you wouldn't have any other option, my friend. Doesn't
Once, hold on, I want to make sure you guys heard that correctly. He said, once we have a Muslim majority, you won't have an option. Your traditions, your customs, the laws that you were previously used to, they're gone. They're my laws now. Take note of that, ladies and gentlemen. Take note. Keep your foot on the pedal. Make sure you show up, participate. You can get involved with different groups like Scott Pressler's group. Shout out to Scott Pressler. He's still out there registering Republicans. Okay, you can get involved with stuff like that. But overall, just make sure you show up when it's time to show up. All right? Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.